better. I'm a woman of many hats, so not only am I an assistant professor here at Coppin State University, an alumni here, I also am an entrepreneur. So I own the largest black woman-owned co-working space in the United States, and we provide on-site babysitting services within our space. So we're focused on the parent entrepreneur. I'm also a business consultant, so I do a lot of work in really fostering ecosystem and entrepreneurial opportunities here in Baltimore City. I'm from Baltimore. I'm from West Baltimore, literally around the corner, and I'm an alumni of Coppin State University. So one of the things that I'm very passionate about is really cultivating the next young entrepreneur. Hence why I'm here teaching students in the College of Business, because I believe that when you sow those seeds, just like me, you can impact a lot of people. And so today we're going to be talking about passion to product. Nurturing youth entrepreneurship. So I'm assuming that most of you are in here because you are interested in some type of entrepreneurship. How many of you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or are currently an entrepreneur? Okay, so what type of, do you know what type of business you want to start?
My family, we have a trash company and I'm the co-owner.
Now you know I can't hear that.
My family, I am the co-owner of our trash company.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Somebody, I saw your hand.
I'm a hairstylist.
Who are you?
Oh, hi, I'm Shania. I'm a hairstylist, and I'm also, I just started my tax strategist and chief financial officer business.
Okay, so you are you said you are a hairstylist.
Hairstylist, and also I just started my tax strategist and chief financial officer.
And you just started your I love that, tax strategy and chief financial officer, something that's very needed in entrepreneurship, period, for entrepreneurs. So I just want to kind of give you guys some statistics first, and I'm a little blind. I got LASIK, but I promise you I don't think that it worked. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So did you guys know that 2/3 of teens between the ages of 13 and 17 said that they were likely to consider starting a business or becoming an entrepreneur as an adult? And a similar survey conducted in 2017 showed that nearly the same percentage of teens, 69%, were likely to start a business then. So teenagers, young people are thinking about starting a business, but how many of you all know how to do it? Like, you know what steps to actually take? Okay, so we have 2 out of probably like the 20 people here that really knows how to, like, maybe know the journey. I told you all, I'm from West Baltimore. Entrepreneurship wasn't something that was glorified. It wasn't something that was talked about. And it wasn't something that I thought was feasible, especially as a child and especially as a young adult. It actually wasn't until I came here at Coppin to really understand what it meant to start a business, or what the business world actually looked like. Also, nearly 1/3 of teens said their greatest concern about starting a business is that it's too risky. How many of y'all think it's too risky to start a business? Some? No? You? Okay. There is a lot of risk in starting a business, but there's a lot of risk into doing anything that you actually desire, okay? So don't let the thought of risk be the determinant of whether you're going to start a business and you're going to keep going. So think about every journey that you've had. I'll tell you this. Would you believe, I told you I'm a doctor, right? How many of you all would believe it if I said I failed out of college? No one. But I failed out of college my first time. I didn't start here at Coppin State University. I actually started at Bill and Julie, which is now Stevenson University, and I failed out of college. But I did not allow that obstacle to dictate where I ended up or where I wanted to go. And it's the same thing with business. You're going to fail in business, right, Stephen? Stephen, I'll introduce Stephen at the end, but Stephen talks to a lot of entrepreneurs, especially tech entrepreneurs, and many of them fail. But it's okay, because failure is an opportunity for you to learn. You will never, hopefully, make the same mistake in business. I've never made the same mistake in business. I've never made the same mistake in life. I tell people all the time, I've never dated the same person twice, so I don't make the same mistake ever in life. So I want to give you some techniques to, one, embracing youth entrepreneurship. So I know you all are like a little bit above youth, but I want you to understand that as you are building these same techniques to embracing youth entrepreneurship, is something that you all can embrace as well. And you can understand how to integrate youth inside of your entrepreneurial journeys. My daughter is about to be 14 on 4th of July, and she is the CEO of her own business that she's had for approximately 5 to 6 years. She owns her own vending machine company. This is something that she desired to do, and luckily she has a mom like me that understands business to help her. So the first thing is mentorship. How many of you all have mentors? How many of y'all know how to get a mentor? Okay, so mentorship is important. And you don't just go up to somebody and say, hey Stevie, can you be my mentor? It's really about building a relationship, right? Some people can be a mentor without even knowing that they are a mentor to you. I didn't have parents growing up where they invested all of their time, money, and energy into cultivating the woman that I am today. And so I had to piece together aspects from different people. Some may have known that and some may have not, to be able to find what it is that I want to do and how to actually do it. You all, some of the college students here in Coppin may know Dr. Ronald Williams. He was a pivotal person in my journey of becoming who I am today, helping me along the way. But I had people that I admired that was on TV. I had people that I just came in contact with at one time, and I just watched how they actually moved and the things that they did, and I integrated that into my everyday life. And so you can have informal mentorships and formal mentorships, but it's also important for you to be a mentor as well, okay? And so you build that relationship first, and then you go into the acts. But when you do acts and you do get someone accepts you as a mentee, you make sure that you are consistent with showing up and consistent with also being there for them as well. Because, Steve, I'm going to put you on the side, but how many people have you mentored? But at the same time, it is an exchange both ways. It's not just about what Steven can do for that person, but it's also how can I show up and help you as well. And I want you all to go into relationships like that. They are two-sided. They're not just one-sided. And that's going to help you in life, and that's going to help you in business. The second thing is networking events. Now you all are here today. Some of you all are here because Dr. Richardson told y'all that y'all had to be here in order to get graded. But then some of you all are here because you want to be here. Showing up at events like this and other networking events is important. But not just showing up, opening your mouth and talking to people. You sometimes, especially with this new generation, all y'all want to do is be on your phones. You cannot build and grow just from your phone. You have to open your mouth. You have to introduce yourself. Know what it means to be a public speaker. Know how to present yourself. Know how to utilize your gifts and talents in a room. Okay? If you are an introvert, which I think that technology just made most of y'all introverts these days, you have to figure out what is that one thing that I feel very confident in when I show up in a room. For me, whether you believe it or not, I'm an introvert that has to be extroverted. I would much rather be in my house by myself, but I know that's not the way to growth and that's not the way to impact. So before, when I started out, I would just wear a statement piece, right? It would be without, maybe a nice dress, it could be a headband, whatever, that someone's gonna say, that's a really nice sweater you have on, and that starts a conversation, okay? Experiential learning. So going into and actually doing it, right? Like, how do I actually actively learn? In your classes, as college students, it is your responsibility to tell your professor that this is how I learn and this is what I want to learn. When my students bring that to me, I'm like, cool, let me figure out how I can give you an opportunity to learn based off of what this class is, but give you that hands-on experience to be able to do so. Recently, I just had my students make TikToks and Reels, and they did an amazing job in my marketing class. We didn't start off with that fun stuff. They had to have the foundation, but I saw that when they're actually doing something, then they are, and I mean like physically, if I'm teaching something, then they implement it, they light up. And so you have to also own your education and own the way that you actually learn. And it's not just about in school, it's also about out of your normal environment. If it's something that you want to learn how to do, get up and test it. See how you can actually actively do it and implement it in the things that you're doing. And the last thing is resilience building. Do anybody know what resilience is? Somebody in here know what resilience is. Go ahead, Audrey.
Oh, I gotta answer.
Yeah, you did.
I just know.
You gonna use Google?
I love it.
Use the tools that you have. How many of y'all have obstacles and then you just quit and give up? Don't be honest. Alright, I'm gonna test y'all out. Resilience is all about not giving up when challenges come in the way. Resilience is understanding that it's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, what's the saying? If it was easy, what? Everybody would be doing it. And that is the truth. You're going to have people to say, no, you can't do that, that's impossible, oh, that's cute, but that's, I don't see it. When I started my company 8 years ago, I started in a 1,200 square foot space that was ugly, okay? My sister, who was my business partner, walked in and said, what are we going to do with this? And I said, I had a vision. So just believe, do you believe in me? And she said, yes. There were people that did not believe that you can mix co-working and babysitting together. There were people that, you know, I'm a black woman. It's not a secret, right? They looked at me and said, you don't have the capabilities to do that. When I failed out of college, I had someone to say, people that fail out of college that comes from places like you will never go back to college. Can you imagine like how hard that is? I went to the institution that I started out with when I desired to teach. The dean of that particular school at the time was a white man that told me because I didn't have my degree from a prestigious university that I would never teach in a higher institution. I've taught at most higher institutions here in Maryland, including GW. So that resilience of keep going is important for you to have. And I found in this younger generation that resilience is not there sometimes because life has just been so easy. If you are my student, which I think is like 2 or 3 of you all in here, what is my one rule? I don't what? What I don't accept? Late work. Look. Late.
That goes for my.
Oh, and Dr. Richardson as well, right? And so, because excuses are tools for the incompetent. We all go through something, but you have to figure out how to get through it. Just like you all go through stuff every day. Do you think that we don't go through stuff? Right? So you have to understand that resilience needs to not be a choice. It needs to be something that you implement in your everyday life. So there are there aren't only 3 ways, but the top 3 ways that youth entrepreneurs can use storytelling techniques. Do you guys know how to tell a story? Know how to tell a good story?
Grabbing people's attention.
Grabbing people's attention, right? Mm-hmm. Like those storytellers, when you all are buying stuff off of TikTok, when you are buying things from Instagram, that is because people are telling a good story about the product or service. Rise Coffee, I'm pretty sure you all saw those ads on TikTok and Instagram. I was a sucker for it. I bought it because of the stories that it was telling, right? So when you are able to create a brand narrative, which is number 1, you can really help people will buy into whatever it is that you're selling. People buy into you before they buy anything that you're selling, okay? So if you're able to tell that story and how it's actually going to impact that person or why they actually need to purchase it, you're half of the way there. Understanding how to perfect your pitch. If I ask one of you all, Deja, like what's your name? No, what did you say your name? Shania? Shania. If I ask Shania to come up here and pitch your business, would you be confident enough to pitch your business? Okay, awesome. And I'm gonna have you do it in a second, so get yourself ready. But knowing how to perfect your pitches, there are so many tools and resources that we have here at Coppin in the College of Business and the Entrepreneur Center, and we have as an ecosystem here in Baltimore. Baltimore City has a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem. It is about you speaking up and saying, this is what I actually need, so that we can tie you into the services and the support that we have. But knowing how to pitch yourself and perfecting that is important. When you all leave here, make sure you go down and visit Diva, meet Shauna, who created the first hair dryer for weaves and wigs, and ask her to pitch her business and hear how she pitch it. Okay, look at the things that the things that she's stating that are like, oh, that's great. She's probably going to lead off and say, I'm I forgot what type of engineer she is, from West Baltimore. That right there piques the interest, because engineers, you don't hear engineers from West Baltimore, right? Like, that is something that you don't hear. So she's going to probably start off like that. And the last thing is content marketing. Understanding how to produce good content and leverage that for your storytelling concepts, those visuals. Have you guys ever saw something and you're like, oh, I'm on TikTok all the time. I know if they ban it, I don't know what I'm going to do at 1 a.m. in the morning. But those that are telling those good stories or those good visuals are the ones that pique my interest the most. And so knowing what it means to actually leverage content marketing for your brand is going to be important. I'm actually launching expanding our co-working space, and one of the things that we're going to have in it are content rooms. So you'll be able to produce video, podcasts, any imagery that you need within our space, but know what that looks like and what that actually means. The other thing is understanding persuasive communication strategies. Now, I know I'm on mic. I'm going to just say it don't matter. They'll get me later. But I think that the best liars are the best people that can tell persuasive stories or know how to persuade someone to do something. But don't become a liar. Just know how to communicate, how to use persuasive communication strategies. So making sure that your value proposition is very clear. Do anybody know what value proposition is? And I promise you, if you're in my class and you don't know what it is, you're getting it after the semester. You see? Geraldine, what's value proposition? You see how they don't pay attention? Do anybody know what value proposition is?
It's the value that you bring to the marketplace through your business.
It's the value that you bring to the marketplace through your business. What value do you have? If you cannot tell us why should we choose you over the competition, then you don't have any value. There's no reason for me to choose your business over one that I'm already using. Okay? So understand what value proposition is. Make sure that you understand active listening. Why is active listening important? Because you need to listen to your customers. You don't have to guess what your customers need if you're listening to them. And how do we do that? Through customer discoveries. Anybody ever heard of customer discoveries before? Hit superstar. You want to get a star. I'm giving you a star in this class. What are customer discoveries?
It's things like polls, surveys.
Go ahead. July, because now you're embarrassing me and you're about to graduate, and I don't know if I'm going to give you that grade to be able to graduate. What is it?
Survey, evaluations.
Exactly. You use tools like surveys, evaluations to go out and talk to your customers to see what their needs are, to understand their pain points. What pains are you having, and how can I develop something that's going to address your pain points? And the way that you do that is through surveys, interviews, evaluations, those type of things. And you come back and you compile that information and you say, okay, based off of my target audience, because is everybody your customer?
No.
All right, because I was about to say that's the fastest way to fail my class, is to say everybody's your customer. Based off of your target audience, you listen and say, well, I think we need to build this. I think we need to pivot this. A prime example of that is when I started my company, I knew exactly what they want because I did over 100 customer discoveries. But it was the way that I was marketing my packages to them. So instead of including the babysitting services in our memberships, we made it pay as you go, which was more attractive for my customers, because as a mom, they're like, I don't know if I want to spend $350 a month, when in reality they're spending more than $350 a month now that it's pay as you go, but it just looked more attractive. You know how that $5.99, that's not a coincidence that the $0.99 is there. That's to make it look attractive. So you all can't see this, but I wanted to give an example or testimonial of a youth entrepreneur who is not a youth anymore that's excelling. Anybody ever heard of Sister Sweets before?
The truck.
The truck.
Yeah.
Well, Sister Sweets actually started their company when they were probably around, I want to say 10 or 11, and they started at what was called Engaging Youth in Entrepreneurship Conference at Morgan State University. It's called ICON. And they would just have a simple table selling their treats. They grew into a van. They also expanded the services. They do singing telegrams, and they are full-fledged adults that are very successful in their business. And so I wanted to give you a testimonial of how engaging in youth entrepreneurship or in starting your companies now is nothing to be scared about. You can start a business at any age. It's about you constantly going and working on it. You can go to school and have a business, and once you graduate or do whatever you desire to do, you can go full force in your business. So it's not something that's not feasible or attainable, especially in 2024. You have plenty of resources and subject matter experts to help you. So I got like 5 minutes before they put me out for any Q&A, so I'm open to answering any questions.
I know y'all are not sitting there, you're not asking questions.
No, I'm about-
Professional up here.
I'm
You
about-
got
You gonna get not attended. So you in here.
So, my question is,
Say it loud, it's out.
my question is, during your adversity, trials, whatever you face, like what really kept you going, and what made you really hone in? Because I know like everybody has their goal, but just like you said, like resilience and all the obstacles and adversity, how did you keep going?
That is a very good question. So the question was basically, out of all of my obstacles and adversity that I dealt with, how did I keep going? Well, one, I grew up in West Baltimore poor, and I did not want to be poor, so that was a motivator in itself. But when I really started my company 8 years ago, it was really honestly looking at the impact that I wanted to have in my community. People that were doing the things that I'm doing now, I felt like didn't exist in my communities, and I thought it was important to be that example. And the last thing was my daughter. I wanted her to see that her mother did not give up, so that she doesn't give up along the way. Because whether you guys believe it or not, we mimic what our parents or those that are raising us do. And I mean, maybe something simple as, you're like, my mother did that when I was younger, like, why am I doing this? But seeing people being successful and keep going, you're more likely to do that because you're seeing that every single day. So that's really, and my mentors honestly told me I didn't have an option to give it. That wasn't an option. When I tried to quit getting my doctorate degree, they said, all right, hang up and I'm gonna call you back and we're gonna figure this out, but you're not quitting.
Yes. Okay, so I work with youth from 14 to 24. A lot of them are like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I go, that's great. I don't know how to help you. Like, what can I do to like further them along? Because I'm like, what passion is there? They're like, yeah, I'm not saying. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
That is a great question. So how do you help youth become become entrepreneurs? Well, are you in Baltimore?
Yes.
So in Baltimore, like I said, we have a strong ecosystem of entrepreneurs and programs. You have programming here in Coppin that we will adamantly create something to help you. We have Open Works that does a lot with the youth as well. I'm not doing it this summer, but I typically hold a youth entrepreneurship camp at the co-working space. I'm not doing it this summer because I don't plan on being in the state this summer. But if you connect with me, I can definitely help you. We have too many anchor institutions and programs around. Exactly. And that's you saying that will help me help you engage those youth in entrepreneurship. And I'm glad you said that because Steven is here from TEDCO, who he knows I've been talking about us doing specific programming to focus on youth, and so it's great to hear that there is something that's very needed because they are our next generation and they can start now. They can build generational wealth, and that was also something that kept me going, was being able to build generational wealth in my family. Shania?
My question is, so something I struggle with is speaking in front of like a lot of people because I'm very like introverted.
No, you're not. Go ahead.
So my question is, how do you like prepare yourself when you know you're about to have to speak in front of people? How do you prepare yourself to go out and talk?
I'd be like, what would Jesus do? Seriously. What's the worst thing that can happen if you get up and talk? Okay, so if that's the worst thing that can happen, what's the problem, right? It's our mindset. Introvert is honestly a mindset thing, right? And so you have to just get up there with your confidence, because I'm sure that there's something when you're around your friends, you probably shine like a diamond, right? Like, think about, this is my friend. If he's constantly making eye contact with me, this is who I'm going to concentrate on. I really focus in on like that one person that's paying attention and not worried about anybody else, right? But if the worst thing that can happen is someone just stare at you, what do you have to lose? Nothing. Just do it, right? Because the worst thing that can happen if you don't do it is that you miss your opportunity. And you don't want to do that. And they just told me that next week I got to speak in front of 700 people. I'm going to say, what would Jesus do when I get up there, okay? So I want to thank y'all for your time. Oh, wait, before I go, Steven, did you want to introduce yourself? No?
I can.
Come on, I'm sorry to put you on the
That's
spot,
all
but
right.
I think this is a good group for you to do so.
Yeah, so I'm happy to do it. So I'm Stephen Allville. I work at Maryland Technology Development Corporation. We're a state-based economic development organization to support entrepreneurs, mostly tech-based entrepreneurs, but we're very interested in supporting entrepreneurship across the board. So if folks have questions, you can contact us and we'll try to connect you to the right place, whether it's the Small Business Development Center, our incubator programs, the maker spaces, the universities. There's a lot of resources because as a state, we want more entrepreneurs and we want them to do well. So I'll end with that, but I also want to say we got such a rock star here. Anything going on entrepreneurial in Baltimore, people are picking up the phone and calling this young lady. So great words of wisdom.
Oh,
I
thank
say,
you.
so thank you.
Actually, before we let it go, FYI, Dr. Lucas is on the cover of the Baltimore Sun today.
Awesome.
I did not know this was the worst picture ever, but I get to work with Steven. So I lead the Urban Business Innovation Initiative as a venture growth advisor here in Baltimore City. And so my role is to find entrepreneurs and get them in the pipeline to get underserved entrepreneurs and get them in the pipeline for funding. Because we all know minority entrepreneurs do not get their equal share of funding when it comes to VC dollars. Black women only get 0.0, it might be 2% now, of VC dollars. And so my goal is to really help increase that statistic, especially here in Baltimore, because entrepreneurship and small businesses is the economic engine to our economy. And so when I grew up in West Baltimore and I walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, there were community-based businesses that were owned by people in the community. And if before I leave this earth, that is my goal, is to make our communities back that way. Okay, I know you had your hand raised, so I want to make sure you get your question answered.
I was asking, do you guys have like business cards?
Of course.
On Bleak, the little online jump. I got it. The little QR code. You did. You did.
We have one more question.
So, question is, earlier you told everyone that it's very valuable to network. Can you share 2 or 3 things that our youth entrepreneurs should prepare for before networking?
So a few things that youth entrepreneurship should prepare for before networking. One is making sure that you are comfortable with pitching yourself. So everybody here that raised their hand, no one said, "Hi, my name is." You just ask the question. So you need to understand the proper way to really introduce yourself. "Hi, my name is Tammira Lucas. I'm the CEO of the Cube Cowork. We are blah, blah, blah," right? Then also understand what it is that you need, right? Going to networking events can be extremely overwhelming, but research the event before you go there. Know who's going to be there and who you want to connect to, right? So if you're like, "I know Stephen Orville is going to be in the room, I need to talk to him," have your strategy to connect with Stephen, especially if Stephen is the keynote. They're going to put him on stage and they're going to hurry up and get him off, right? So strategically, I'm going to sit by the stage, I'm going to stand by the stage, and I'm going to wait until Stephen gets off that stage, and I'm going to go and introduce myself and prepare my 60-second pitch on whatever it is that I need Stephen, to do, to want to know me, whatever. So that preparation is also important. And then I would say, make sure you have that confidence, right? Like, don't go up to somebody and say, "Hi, my name is," I'm like, say it louder, like, be prepared. And so that's what I would say as well. But thank you for that. That was a great question. Ariel, I got to run a class, but thank you. I appreciate you. Although we ain't have a presentation, we still rocked it out. But enjoy the rest of the day. And like I said, go introduce yourself to all the vendors, but specifically go talk to Spundle, because she's working with youth entrepreneurs and helping them to become engineers and work with her company. So thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, I don't know.